Hello, Internet, and welcome back to the weekly dumpster fire that is this show, where I give you the PG-13 version of everything I consider newsworthy in the automotive industry this week. Coming up, we've got news on the rather incredible, or maybe uncredible, Russian Mustang EV, Season 4 of the Grand Tour, a new Corvette Wagon is on its way to the market, Elon Musk's recent comments on the Tesla pickup, and Lincoln is once again teasing me with suicide doors, and more. But let's just go ahead and kick it off with some bad news for anyone out there who's been getting ready for the reveal of the next generation Chevrolet Corvette, as sightings of the vehicle have become more and more common recently, and the general speculation was that we're very likely to get an official look at the new Vette as early as the Detroit Auto Show taking place in January. However, recent news, hot off the presses from GM Authority, have stated that recently progress on the new car has been halted by the fact that the wiring harness that the C8 has previously been built around isn't enough to meet the required amount of power, and that the new wiring harness has set back the reveal date by an estimated 6 months, which is a pretty long time. However, the fact that the otherwise functional wiring harness isn't enough to handle the necessary power for the new Vette has got the rumor mill spinning again that the C8 is likely to arrive as a mid-engine hybrid from its inception. And while this theory isn't new, this new information does make it that much more likely. Also, this news could possibly mean that we won't see the next generation Corvette show up in dealerships until as late as 2021. And speaking of the International Auto Show in Detroit, as you may have inferred by big-name models like the Supra and the Corvette's plans to debut cars there, it's kind of a big deal. And that's a fact that other manufacturers are aware of as well. So as we get closer and closer to the show, start expecting more teasers. Like this one from Infiniti, as this week we've gotten word from the brand that they'll be at the show, showcasing a concept for an all-new electric SUV. Not much else is known at this time, other than the fact that they have decided to get on board with the very classy light-up badge craze. But Infiniti did commit some time ago to offering at least some degree of electrification on all of its models by the year 2021. And this is undoubtedly part of that plan. And this week, a once fairly prestigious German tuning company, Bitter, will attempt to make its return to glory using the not very German C7 Chevrolet Corvette. The company posted 2 renderings to social media earlier in the week showing off their take on a modern German-inspired Corvette Wagon. Though Bitter didn't offer any other info other than these 2 exterior shots, it is expected that the reimagined C7 Wagon will include boosted performance as well as some aesthetic changes. And if this image looks kind of familiar to you, it's probably bringing back memories of the Callaway Aero Wagon produced way back in 2016. And the Bitter shooting brake is expected to be revealed at the Geneva Auto Show taking place in 2020. And if a factory-built, warrantied EV resto mod of a 1967 Mustang with all-wheel drive and 840 horsepower sounds like your kind of thing, then Russian brand Aviair's claimed new vehicle might be something worth you looking into, as they've released renderings for the R67 this week, and are also claiming some pretty outrageous numbers, like the already mentioned 140 horsepower, a 0 to 62 miles per hour of 2.2 seconds, along with a 155 mile an hour top speed. Aviair also predicts the ambitiously long range of 315 miles. All this will be brought to you by 2 electric motors, an adaptive air suspension, a chassis made out of an aluminum and carbon fiber mix with a full carbon fiber body, and an interior sporting modern amenities like a 17-inch tablet. However, if you're already envisioning all the rolling 4-wheel burnouts you'll be doing in your lightweight Slavic Superstang, you may want to take this with a grain of salt, as obviously these pictures are renderings from an unproven car company making some pretty incredible claims, and to my knowledge, no price or production schedule is available yet. Or maybe I'm just being pessimistic. And with all this talk about EVs, we may as well give some screen time to the long-proposed Tesla pickup truck. As in a recent exchange on Twitter, Elon Musk stated that he's dying for Tesla to produce a pickup truck and that the brand could be ready to unveil one as early as next year. Which, if that's the case, and given the production record at Tesla, that should slate the pickup as most likely arriving as a 2021 model, which would put it arriving in the same year as the recently announced Rivian R1T, or possibly in 2074. We'll see. And speaking of Tesla, German rivals Porsche and BMW told them to BTFO this week as they announced a new EV quick charging system that will allow their upcoming vehicles to charge more than twice as quickly as Tesla's new supercharge system. This new system from VW Group and BMW was co-developed by Siemens, Phoenix Contract E-Mobility, and Allego, and is able to deliver 450 kilowatts of charge that can add 62 miles of range to the new vehicles in less than 3 minutes. Though, as you might imagine, taking this much power, this quickly requires some additional considerations, like upgrading the battery's cooling systems on upcoming vehicles, and having to liquid cool the new charging cables. It's estimated that we'll be able to see this new tech coming into use beginning with the brand's 2020 models. And in a little bit more Twitter news, Lincoln has teased the possible return of suicide doors to the ailing Lincoln Continental, which would be the first time in its lineup since 1969. However, other notable cars since that time have given it a shot as well, like the Rolls-Royce Wraith, the Mazda RX-8, and the gone but certainly not forgotten Saturn Ion Redline. However, it is worth knowing that if this actually comes to market, it would most likely require an all-new round of expensive crash testing for the already underperforming luxury car, and if it makes it past that the car would most likely have to retain the unattractive B-pillars to keep up to snuff with current crash safety standards. Lincoln took to Twitter on Thursday with the image and told fans to keep an eye on the brand's Instagram account for more information. So I guess in the meantime, I'll keep an eye on Lincoln's Instagram account for more information. Great. And if you're watching this video and you also happen to have an Amazon Prime membership, odds are you're familiar with Amazon's semi-original show, The Grand Tour. And if you're a fan, you'd probably be interested to know that Amazon has recently confirmed The Grand Tour has been greenlit for a 4th season on the streaming service. We do know that the 4th season of The Grand Tour will feature a somewhat different format, as show host Jeremy Clarkson recently stated on Twitter that the new season will be, quote, nothing but road trip specials. Personally would say that this change to the show's format comes from 2 possible factors. One, we know that the show was previously considered to be in jeopardy, mostly because of its high filming costs, and this may be an effort to curb some of that while keeping the show on the air. And 2, that many of the complaints from actual car enthusiasts going all the way back to Top Gear is that people who really care about this show don't care anything about the audience interaction, and especially not the B-list celebrity interview star in the car crap. So this may be an effort to listen to the people that actually make the show possible, and that's the fans. And the fans of the show will be happy to know that Season 3 of the Grand Tour hits Amazon Prime on January 18th, 2019. And if you're a Volkswagen Bug enthusiast, then you may want to be sitting down, as if you haven't already heard, the 2019 year model will be the last for VW's once iconic Beetle. However, the good news is that if you feel like plunking down somewhere between $24,000 and $32,000 for a 2019 Beetle, you'll be able to get one of the Beetle Final Editions that will include options for one of 2 exclusive colors, a new rear badge, special wheel packages, and some standard chrome trim. And for those of you old enough to remember, VW pulled a similar move way back in 2003 when it unveiled the first Beetle Final Edition. And in a little bit of recall news this week, if you're the proud owner of a 2011 through 2014 Lamborghini Gallardo, then you may want to run by a dealership, as your most likely often necessary engine malfunction or fuel injection malfunction warning lights may decide to stop working. And if you're one of 65,000 people in the US who drive an early 2000s Toyota Corolla, Tundra, Sequoia, or Lexus SC, then you may also want to consider a trip to a dealership, as the long-running Takata airbag scandal continues, as this is the 2nd recall for the same issue on these same vehicles. The only difference is that this time, instead of replacing your faulty Takata airbag with a working Takata airbag, they'll now replace it with a working airbag from a different brand. Owners should begin receiving notifications in January. And that's going to wrap it up for this week, though you know where to find me. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you again soon. I'm out.